Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Power or Might. I, Jonathan Coachman, here with Mike today, and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Power or Might, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on Collision or Hit. Yesterday on Collision or Hit, Drew McIntyre beat the Stronghold Keeper once again, like he did on Friday Night SmackDown, and now him and Ric Flair are now at war. Well, you would say, Mike today says, Jonathan, you could say that Ric Flair, the main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, is at war with Drew McIntyre. But at the same time, Ric Flair is in leadership of the toy wrestling gathering, and he should be above that. Now, Drew McIntyre, being a wrestler, being a fighter, he should be above that as well. That's more smoothly said and done, Jonathan and Mike. But that would be like my man Bobby Lashley, who now will beat Asuka or Ricochet. Because I know that today is the day that we get to see if Asuka or Ricochet are going to have, that match or not. Well, you're right. Today is the 20th, and his bash at the beach. Jonathan Coachman says, you're right, Asuka will be fighting Ricochet for the TWF heavyweight winnings if we can seek where Ricochet is at. Which could be more smoothly said and done. Mike today says, I could tell you Jonathan Coachman said if we can't seek Ricochet, then Bobby Lashley will have to be the one to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. And that means you're not going to be calling the match. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to be calling the match. I think I know where Ricochet's at. Ricochet is in that one little box, of all the other wrestlers and all the other dolls. They didn't have room for. And even if he's not, then I don't need to be at ringside of Bobby Lashley to tell you folks that Bobby Lashley is going to beat Asuka, and he's going to become the TWF heavyweight fighter once again. Well, this is Bash at the Beach, and we do got Asuka, the TWF heavyweight fighter, in the ring now. And now Bobby Lashley, who is, by the way, Montel Vertadius Porter's man, is on the other side. And Ricochet was to have his match with Asuka, but due to not knowing where he's at, we had to go with this match, Jonathan Coachman says. Well, all you gotta do, Mike today says, is just yield for the fight keeper to get in the ring, and then make, and make the match lawful. Well, the only thing lawful about it, Montel Vertadius Porter says, is going to be Bobby Lashley, who's going to be the TWF heavyweight fighter after this night, this day. This match is for the TWF heavyweight winnings. First, he is Bobby Lashley, and she is the TWF heavyweight fighter, Asuka. And now, Bobby Lashley just did a spear to Asuka, Jonathan Coachman says. Bobby Lashley just gave her the overtaker. And the Fight Lord has to see if it's lawful or not, Jonathan Coachman says. Mike today says, is Bobby Lashley going to make Asuka yield in the ache lock? He's made a lot of men and women yield in the ache lock. So why should Asuka be in the on-like? Why? Since she's the Kaiserin of tomorrow or something? Who named her? Who who made her the Kaiserin of tomorrow. Asuka's being taken out, Montel Ratace Porter says. I don't know, Jonathan Coachman said. That's Asuka's nickname. And Asuka is being taken out by Bobby Lashley right now in the Asuka lock. If the Fight Lord gets her hands going down 3 times, Mike Today says, then Bobby Lashley be the new TWF heavyweight fighter. And that'll be so great for me, Montel Ratace Porter says, because then I can show Paulie Dangerously that I'm the greatest of overseers in the toy wrestling gathering. Asuka's getting up right now. Asuka just broke out the Asuka lock. That's unlikely. There's no way Asuka broke out of the 8 lock. That's unlikely. How did she do that? Asuka just did the Kaiserin strike to Bobby Lashley, Jonathan Coachman says. Oh, Mike Today says Asuka's putting the Asuka lock on Bobby Lashley. Will Bobby Lashley yield? Bobby Lashley will not yield to Asuka, not yield to Asuka, Jonathan and Mike. Bobby Lashley's the Almighty. There's no way that Asuka can take him out with the Asuka lock. Well, Montel, and you said there was no way for Asuka to get out of the 8 lock, and somehow she did. John Coachman says. So anything is likely. Well, Mike Today said, Bobby Lashley's yielding. The match is over. Ding, ding. Here is your winner. And then here's your winner. And still, the TWF heavyweight fighter, Asuka. And Asuka has beat Bobby Lashley and is still the TWF heavyweight fighter here in the toy wrestling gathering here today at Bash at the Beach. And Montel Ratace Porter is not handling all that well. He's not handling that his man, the so-called almighty Bobby Lashley, yielded to Asuka, Jonathan Coachman says. Now you're speechless now. Now you're talkless now. You have nothing to say, Mike Today says, about Bobby Lashley losing to Asuka. Well, Jonathan Coachman said, I think he's irked over it. I think he's in shock. That's why he has nothing to say. That's why he's speechless. You want to know something, Jonathan and Mike? Asuka got lucky. That's all it was. Luck. If Bobby Lashley fights Asuka again, Bobby Lashley will beat Asuka. And he will be the TWF heavyweight fighter. You keep telling yourself that, Jonathan Coachman says. Keep dreaming, and one day, it might happen. Take it away, Joey Styles. Thank you, Jonathan Coachman and Mike Today. I'm going to be talking with Asuka here today on Powerrr or Might, Bash at the Beach. All right, Asuka. We just saw you in the ring, Asuka. Stand up. We saw you in the ring, Asuka, with the almighty Bobby Lashley. And somehow, someway, Asuka, you won. Well, like I told you, Mike, today, like I've been telling everyone since the end of 26 between it, YL, when I came to the toy wrestling gathering, no one is ready for Asuka. And not Bobby Lashley, not Taylor, not Arrow, not Becky Lynch. None of them are ready for Asuka. Well, Asuka, somehow, someway, some folks are going to say you got lucky when you beat Bobby Lashley here today. But somehow, how did you get out of the 8 lock? Well, Joey Styles, somehow I got out of the 8 lock, and I don't think it was out of luck. So the way I look at it, there was no man or no woman who is ready for Asuka. Well, that's my talk with Asuka, the TWF heavyweight fighter. You know, back to you, Jonathan Coachman and Mike Today. Well, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Joey Styles, for talking with Asuka here today on Power or Might, Bash at the Beach. And that's all the time we got here today. So for I, Jonathan Coachman, with Mike today and Montel Vitidius Porter, we hope you like Power or Might, Bash at the Beach. And we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw.